tonight I'm going to read a little bit, a very little bit, so stick around. It's from Might is Right. I'll keep it quite short. It's by Ragna Redbeard. I have a Xerox copy published by Loom Panics. Loom Panics used to actually sell a lot of books how to make bombs, very detailed books about how to make bombs. I'm sure they're all kicking around out there somewhere, most of them. A few have been lost, and as people got some of that propaganda in their mind, who knows, converted to Christ's insanity or figured they didn't want to be a bomb maker after all various reasons. He who saith unto himself, I must believe, I must not question, is not a man, but a mere pusillanimous mental gelding, that is, a cowardly mental gelding. He who believes because it has been handed down is a menial in his heart, and he who believes because it has been written is a fool in his folly. As in the Jewish Bible, because it has been written, a lot of nonsense, in other words, just repeated with King's English, and the mental midgets are duly impressed. Sagacious spirits doubt all things, and hold fast only to that which is demonstrably true. The rules of life are not to be found in Korans, Bibles, decalogues, and constitutions, but rather the rules of decadence and death. The law of laws is not written in Hebrew consonants or upon tables of brass and stone, but in every man's own heart. He who obeys any standard of right and wrong but the one set up by his own conscience betrays himself into the hands of his enemies, who are ever laying in wait to bind him to their millstones, and generally a man's most dangerous enemies are his neighbors. Masterful men laugh with contempt at spiritual thunders and have no occasion to dread the decisions of any human tribunal. They are above and beyond all that. Laws and regulations are only for conquered vassals. The free man does not require them. He may manufacture and post up decalogue regulations to bind and control dependents with, but he does not himself bow down before those inventions of his own hands, except as a lure. State books and golden rules were made to fetter slaves and fools. Very useful they are for controlling the herds of sentenced convicts, who fill the factories and cultivate the fields. All moral principles, therefore, are the servitors, not the masters of the strong. Power made moral codes, and power abrogates them. A man is under no obligation to obey anything or anybody. It is only serving men that must obey. Serving dash men, in other words, he's writing. It is only serving men that must obey, because they are caitiffs by birth, breeding, and condition. Morals are only required in an immoral community, that is to say, a community held in a state of conquest, as the United States of America and most of Europe is now with the European Union. Fear God, bridle the spirit, and obey the law is advice most excellent, as from a philosopher to a yokel. But when directed in all earnestness at a man of inherent might, but when directed in all earnestness at a man of inherent might, he smiles to himself in silent scorn. That is, the man of inherent might does. That's exactly what we're doing at Pod Blanc, smiling at all these bizarro religions that seem to control this planet, along with the mostly the leadership of Zionist over the Judeo-Christian, 2/3 of those 3/3 loons. I'm leaving out the Hindus and the Buddhists for the time being, because those are mostly non-white countries. Okay. Full well he knows that in actual life the path to victory and renown does not lie through Gethsemanes, but over fallen enemies, the ruins of rival combines. Through Akeldamas, meekness of spirit is regarded by him as a convenient superstition, very useful for regulating the lives of his servants, his women and children, but otherwise inoperative. I rest my hopes on nothing, proclaimed Goethe, and masterful minds in all ages have never done otherwise. This unspoken thought gives to all truly great men their manifest superiority. over the brainless, vociferating herd. The common people have always had to be fooled with some written or wooden or golden idol, some constitution, declaration, or gospel. And that's, by the way, what I mentioned the last program I did that Aegis have been talking to me about, how all these things are foisting upon us are mere control systems and propagandistic by their inherent nature. We need to start considering that. At least men who have the ability, 120 IQ or above, should stop and think about it. All men, really, in various interims, in the day, in the hour, the week, because this is what's bridling us. It has to stop. Consequently, the majority of them have never been mental thralls, have ever been mental thralls, living and dying in an atmosphere of strong illusion. They are befooled and hypnotized even to this hour, and a large portion of them must remain so until time is no more. That's a long time. Indeed, the masses of mankind are but the sediment from which all the more valuable elements have long ago been distilled. They are totally incapable of real freedom, and if it was granted to them, they would straightway vote themselves a master, or 1,000 masters, within 24 hours. Mastership is right, mastership is natural, mastership is eternal, but only for those who cannot overthrow it and trample it beneath their hoofs. Is it not a fact that in actual life the ballot box votes of 10 million subjective personalities are as thistledown in the balance when weighed against the far-seeing thought and material prowess of, say, 10 strong, silent men? Okay, that's all I'll read from it for now. But I enjoy that volume. It was written, I think, around 1848, 1854, somewhere around there. I'll find out precisely for you quite soon.